people's sodium levels going up. It stimulates thirst, so they drink more if they're able to. And if they've got excess water on board, the kidneys excrete that excess water, and that's under control of a hormone called ADH, or anti-diuretic hormone. ADH is, if you've ever heard of people taking water pills or diuretics to get extra fluid off, you can think of ADH as exactly the opposite. It turns off the spigot, the way this is shown here with a wrench shutting off the flow of water out of the kidneys. It causes the kidneys to hold on to water, return it to the circulation so that it doesn't get excreted.
Do nurses have a little saying that they use to think about it? They say ADH keeps water in the body and not in the potty.
I've heard that one before.
I thought he did a phenomenal job, smiling, engaging, turning toward the jury, a lot of hand movements, simplifying terms. And then the attorney did a nice job kind of juxtaposing, well, don't nurses talk about, what this does? There's no urine in the body, when you're
Right.
this hormone out in your body. However he said it, it was a nice little play there as well.
Right. And that's one of the things. I'm not sure if he mentions it in the clips we'll be reviewing, but he uses a couple of rhymes. One is actually essentially his theme here for the claims of malpractice. If you don't know, go slow on correcting that sodium imbalance. One of the things that I thought he was very strong in with this particular expert is he introduced that theme and that that rhyme that would be catchy and stick in a jury's head. But then he reinforced it. He actually had the expert say it at some point in the testimony. So it became more, it reinforced that. And I think that is so important in these complex medical malpractice cases where you have so much evidence that you're being presented with. Something like that, if you can boil it down to something that is very simple like that can stick in a jury's head or jurors' heads, it really can be very powerful and resonate. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, we know now we are the soundbite, Twitter, instant, change the channel generation. So the thought is to have these digestible bites. And we have to have this as a theme that pervades any complex litigation, whether it's in the medical negligence space or I don't care, intellectual property, it doesn't matter. If it's going to be a jury of our peers, we've got to have these digestible bites. What's memorable? What's understandable? So if we start getting too complex, so for example, there's a point in there where the expert was even trying to make a point that anti-diuretic hormone, something our body's making, it's made in the pituitary. But he talked about it's made in the posterior part of the pituitary. The question is that really relevant? Now a jury's hearing another word, but it turns out it doesn't matter whether it's from the anterior or the posterior, it just happens to come from that part of the pituitary. Usually we're working with experts, just really think of what's essential, what draws the facts out, what's not distracting, like sugar diabetes versus diabetes insipidus. How do we simplify, clarify, but make it interesting, digestible sound bites? So I do agree with that.